Hello beautiful beings, this video is about emotional and verbal violence. So what is emotional and verbal violence and where can we find it in our society these days? Basically there are subtle levels of verbal and emotional violence and there are big levels of emotional and verbal violence. I mean, verbal violence is already pretty clear. It's like whenever you're being harsh to somebody or somebody's being harsh to you, or whenever people are being harsh with each other and hurt each other, most likely all the time on purpose. But there's also something about behavioral patterns and that people are so deep in their structures that they don't really do it on purpose, but it's already encoded in their patterns, behavioral patterns. And emotional violence is basically if you have somebody who has an undertone, an aggressive undertone, is being polite, quote unquote, for example in a job situation, and wants you to do something, or is upset about something didn't go right, or you just made a mistake, for example, in some work context, and they are really angry about you. So basically that's emotional violence, but that's a subtle version because they think the way they treat you is somewhat like beneficial for, I don't know, the greater picture of the company or yourself, so it's somewhat socially accepted even in some places. And I would say it's a no-go because you gotta appreciate people who are around you, and then people will appreciate you. And if you try to manipulate people with verbal violence and put them under pressure, it might work in some cases, but basically the people who do those things don't feel so comfortable already in their shoes, in that state while doing those things, even if they don't realize how uncomfortable they feel. They have those shadow patterns, and so it's very likely that those other people also react to it, and they are a match on this level where they don't really like those situations, but they are somewhat okay with it. So I would say always express it. So for example, when you see that your boss is angry at you, but just says nice words with angry energy behind them, or nice, I would say somewhat angry tone, say, hey, wait a second, this makes me feel that in that way. Can we maybe express this in a different way, or just put it differently? I mean, many people are probably going to lose their jobs after watching that video and putting it into practice, but I would say always strive to follow your gut feelings when you have new companies for which you're applying, and also groups of people you're joining or any actions you take. Always tune in and feel and see how it is. I think it's really important that we start to be kinder and more polite, especially in the winter, to each other in terms of interhuman relationships, but the majority of people isn't quite there right now. And it's not about the thing that I'm like, okay, saying we should be more like this or more like that. It's just a suggestion. I would say the nicer you are with people, the nicer people are with you automatically, and it doesn't feel good to act from somewhat I would say a hurt perspective. And many people putting themselves in somewhat stressful work environments just to make a little bit more money, and under that pressure of the stress of the work situation, they start to actually lose their temper in some way or another way, and they just start to hurt another person, and this hurt is going to be passed on. So I think it's really important for us as individuals also to tune in and see how we make our, or the people around us feel by our actions, by our words, by how we say things. And of course it's a delicate subject because we are individuals, we all have our own ideas and our own freedom, but for example in a work situation it's a little bit more limited. You gotta be extra nice, quote unquote, you gotta be, you know, I'm not here standing and telling you gotta be extra nice, but consider to be extra nice in a work situation, especially when you're a boss or an employee, or just go for people where the chemistry is really good. And whenever you feel hurt or something by your tone or something, either express it with your body language and articulate it with your words afterwards. People will understand on a subconscious level, and if they don't understand and they just continue on those patterns, just go in a different direction, search for a different job, just leave those people alone with the note and explaining them why you are leaving. Look, I cannot stand this anymore, you know, this is just too much, I don't like it, it doesn't make me feel good. And they will understand by time that basically all those people will just leave them because they are not really a match to this. So I would say those old times are somewhat over. We are moving into the new paradigm, and this is something from the past. We don't really need or want this anymore as a collective so much, even if some individuals are still stuck in there. So the main theme of this video, it's your right, and your joy of just expressing those things, and just to your right to be treated well on an emotional level and on a verbal level and on a physical level, of course. But in our society, most of it, it's just physical. Okay, your body is safe, but actually, you know, thoughts are free. That's true, but thoughts are felt by other people. Okay, psychic people feel them more than other people, but basically, if you think something bad about somebody else or something mean, they will feel it. They will resonate with it. Basically, we are all one big organism. So I encourage all those people to claim their rights to be treated well. Treated, it sounds already so harsh. To be, I don't know. I don't have those words today for all that video, but you get the idea, right? Just be there and say, hey, I have a right to feel well, I have a right to hear nice words from you, and if it doesn't really work, I'm just leaving. You will always find a new job, no matter how bad the situation is. The universe will work out something for you, and just follow your intuition on that one. Your intuition and your heart won't misguide you on that one. Okay, on that note, I wish you a very beautiful week, and as always, I love you all very much. Namaste.